Okay, so this is the problem. We're in a world right now where over 45% of people pretty much don't read books. And don't get me wrong, I have mentors that don't read books at all, but they listen to audiobooks, they create books, they understand authorship. They're out here really creating things. They're getting some type of enlightenment from true mentors. The only reason you need to read a book in the first place is when you can't afford a mentor. And even after you can afford a mentor, understand, I'm an author. Well, books, bro? What, a fucking book? I put 2 years into writing a book. There's more stuff in a book than I can ever think of off the top of my head. Everybody put their best stuff in books. That's it. So, it's not that books it's going to make you rich. It's that books are going to change the way that you think. Me personally, I read 15 different books last year, and total 17 books. And when it comes to that, it's simple. My books are mindset, leverage, identity, ownership, psychology, systems, and wealth building. But these few books that I got here, this is just spirituality, financial education, or intelligence. Then you have mindset, and then you also have skill building. So, y'all bear with me. Let's go to the next. And remember, y'all, reading, earners are readers. Leaders are readers. You don't have to read 15 fucking books in a year. This is just something that I genuinely enjoy. Reading is a hobby for me. I'm a book collector. So in other words, while you got some people that stack money, I stack books first. So number one, this is a book called Hung by the Tongue. This is my second favorite book. This book simply just showed me, and it changed my perspective of thinking, which is thinking like, damn, bro, like, you are what you say. First thing that happened in the world is your thoughts. So when it comes to how you think is how you feel. How you feel is what you say. So see, as a man thinketh, this is my first favorite book. And the first thing that you think, most of the time, is what you get. And what you think is what you say. So these books are like pairs to me. I read these two books last year, twice. The Kabbalion. You don't have to pick up books that you understand. People think books, they think Diary of a Wimpy Kid. See, this book right here, this is a book that I still don't understand. This book has so much depth in it. It teaches about the 7 different principles where, see me, I like to see the omnipresence of things. So this is Hermetic principles, but these same principles you can find in the Bible. Those same principles in the Bible you can find in the Quran, and so on. So don't get caught up in saying, oh, this is witchcraft, or it's this, or it's that, and think outside the box. Because remember, you gotta fight the urge of how you think 99% of the time to be a true 1% thinker. Integrity. This is a good book. I feel like this book was actually made for me. Like, see, this is the only book that I have that's used, and this book is highlighted. Some people don't know, but I'm interested in politics. What type of politics? Energy politics. And this right here is something from, I believe, this is President George Bush. There is a connection between good character and good education. We've got to remember that in this country, that is important to spread character, education programs throughout America. And it's just something that's really interesting because it's like this book was made for like the president, and it being called integrity. Integrity, see, it's different types of integrities. It's integrity with yourself, what you do, you're gonna say, and it's integrity with the world. Ask yourself, do you want to be at peace with yourself in that war with the world, or at war with yourself in at peace with the world, or both? Then we have this shitty book here, The 48 Laws of Power. This is a decent book. I've read it a few times, but it's simple. It's like, how do you put it? It teaches you how to equip yourself with the people that are around here trying to send people through psychological warfare. Some people use this on people, and some people use it to defend themselves. So see, the best martial art in the world is Krav Maga. And Krav Maga is not an offensive martial art. It's a defensive technique that you can take guns and knives and shit out of people's hands. It's not always about offense. Because when you have shit, when you got something, you gotta protect it. That's on defense. People that don't have anything worth protecting are usually on offense. I read this book a few times too. The Obstacle is the Way. This is my first book that somebody gave me. And this book right here, see, I took a little bit of care of it. I got a little bit of stains on there. I read this book maybe 4 times. Not last year, but total. Then this book, The Obstacle is the Way, it just show you, see, what they say, what don't kill you make you stronger. But to me, the obstacle in the way, when you understand the anatomy and the synonymy, the synonyms and words, it's simple. It will tell you, ops to kill. That's what obstacle mean to me. It's an opt to kill. Y'all out here killing each other. I'm out here killing things in front of me. It's simple. The world will either bring problems to you or you create your own as a man. I recommend you create your own problems. Because when worldly problems come to you, you'll need God to solve it. When you need God to solve a problem for you, you're going to lack patience. You're going to lack the sense of being able to understand that you are recreating and you were made in God's image. This one, Atomic Habits. This is a good book. This was the very first book that I actually bought. And Atomic Habits taught me something. Atomic Habits taught me that tiny increments add up. If you count 1 times 365 of doing the same thing every day, you will not have 365. Simply, God does not grow incrementally. He moves things exponentially. So Atomic Habits was the first book that taught me that books are not about reading. Books are recipes. It's instructions. And they have clear recipes and things to do, but most people don't do. The 10X Rule. This is a good Grant Cardone book. This was the first book that got me into thinking even more exponentially, where I was thinking, all right, I want to grow 1% a day. And I started saying, damn, I want to grow 10 times more a day because it's this simple. 10X intention. The 10X attention plus 1,000% intention will give you 10,000 different godly outcomes. So see, 10X does not mean 10 times 10. 10X is 10. You're thinking 1,000%. That's what a 10X is. 1X is 100%. A 10X is 1,000%. This book right here, The 9-Figure Mindset. This is a good book. It's based just off of the 10X. I read it actually before. This book, man, this is a good book. This is a book that I'm still understanding. This is where it comes to businesses. It comes into the whole idea of when you have an entry plan, you have to have an exit plan. When you put yourself in a place, you gotta know how you're gonna get out in whatever way, shape, or form. Some people think exit plans are bad, but all exit plans are not bad. Some advice that I could give: don't exit what you love. When you acquire something and you pick up something, 9 times out of 10 you're doing it so you can pass it to your children's children. Rich Dad Poor Dad. This was the first book that I was recommended. I was recommended this from my mentor, Peter. This book right here, I think this is everybody's first book when it comes to being an entrepreneur. I don't know how many times I read it. This is the newer one. This is the 20-year one with more statistics from 2025. I'm pretty sure they're going to make a 21st one with more statistics from 2026. But Rich Dad Poor Dad is an interesting book. It changes the way that you think but the way that you think about yourself, the way that you think about money. Because see, the reason we have jobs and we pick up skills and leverage and all of this, we pick up all these different things to simply honor time. The crown goes to the person who understands what they need. What do you need to be happy, to be a good person, to be a humane person? What's a humane person? A humane person is somebody that has everything that they need, everything that they want, and they still know who to get on they need to. Jesus. A good person, a human person, is another person who has nothing that they want and nothing that they need, but they still treat other people kindly, and vice versa. This book. This is probably one of my favorite financial books. This book was stolen from me before. No shots. Fucking shotgun shells. That's why it looks brand new, because it is. I had to get a new version of it. I didn't read this specific book, but I read this specific book, right? And this book right here, Why A students work for C students. It taught me that the smartest people in the room are usually not the best delegators. People that are smart, they're sharp, they want to be perfect, they get rewarded from being called, hey, you good, you did good. See me, I'm not smart. I'm not intelligent. I have pattern recognition. I pick up on patterns fast, and I love patterns. It's like this book right here, it teaches you how to manage people that are smarter than you. Why? Because you don't know what you don't know. But people that are usually smarter than people, they don't want to be the boss. They are specialists. You gotta understand the difference of a generalist and a specialist. Which one are you? This book, The Four. This is a different book. This is the first book that I got from a library, and I actually bought it. They actually gave it to me for free. And this is about Facebook, Google, Amazon, and pretty much Apple, and the Fifth Horseman. And pretty much these four companies run the world. These four companies are in our lives so much people don't realize, bro. Like you can't live with none of these companies, without none of these companies. And it talks about how when you think of Wall Street, you think of Black Wall Street, you think of consumerism, you think of thinking, you think about producers. The 99-1% equation. It's like this. These companies, for instance, Facebook, they have 20 employees, but they run at least $1 trillion. Google and Microsoft. Microsoft had an idea. Their whole fucking title was said, "Don't be evil." That's Google's thing, because Microsoft is really fucking evil. And then you have Amazon. Amazon is simple. Amazon has more warehouses than they have people, than they have resources, than they have things to sell. And that's what's scary, because it's like, you got all these empty shell companies, and I'm not the person to say what somebody else should do with their money. I'm gonna show what I'm gonna do with my money. Well, all I'm saying is, a lot of these buildings, empty warehouses that this company has, you can put homeless people in it. My favorite one, Apple. Apple is a luxury brand. They're not a brand on phones. It's a brand on luxury. They sell an idea that this is worth what it's worth. Like a dollar bill. If anybody understand, remember the NFT game. NFTs. You can create a dollar that looks just like a real dollar and sell it more than a dollar. That proves to people that dollars only have value because us as humans, us as consumers, believe that they do. So one thing about Apple that I learned is, Apple sells 10% of its products. But in the technology market, in the industry that they're really in, they make up 80% of the profits. So you got BlackBerry that sells 60% of the products, but they only make up 5% of the profits in the whole entire industry. When it comes to this book as a whole, I simply learned, bro, the old America, we were creating millionaires and millionaires and millionaires and millionaires. But now the millionaire these days is middle class. And now you have poor, not even poor, you got poverty, and then you have uber rich. And what's scary about that is America, the land of opportunity, was a place to create millionaires. We had 200 millionaires been created a year, but now we got 200 millionaires been created over 20 years. America is becoming a consumer, not a producer. And what scares me about this book here is it's just gonna keep growing. These people are making billions of dollars a day, and it's not unfathomable. It's that the opportunities are going down because there's less people to compete with. When there's so much access, so easy to make websites. People that make websites, you're not important no more. When it's so easy to do this, it's not important no more. This is not important no more. This is not important no more. It's like things that used to be skills are not skills no more. And it's like now the blue collar worker is going to be the new millionaire, and the white collar worker is going to be the new poor person. By definition, poverty is somebody that makes under 50K a year. Poor is somebody that makes over 150K a year. And when it comes to the acronym poor, a person who skips over opportunities repeatedly. Then when it comes to middle class, a middle class person is somebody who leveraged their lifestyle because they look right. And they see rich people that are getting things and they buying cars that only took them a day of money to get. But a middle class person want to get that same car, that same lifestyle, that same feeling, but they inflated it with credit, borrowed identity, borrowed confidence. So this book is deep. I recommend it for everybody. This book right here, How to Create Wealth, Investing in Real Estate. This book is interesting to me because when you think about real estate, it's like real estate is one of the only things that are true assets in the world. And it's like when you look at real estate, it's like it's one of the easiest things to pass down to the next generation. But the problem with real estate is everybody look at real estate for money now, when you need to be looking at real estate for money later. Because see, the true people that use real estate, they use real estate for the depreciation, not to buy and flip. And see, when you focus on buying and flipping, that goes back into the nine-figure mindset. See, you don't want to exit things that bring you wealth. The true real estate person is not speculating, getting in and getting out, like a person that trade earnings, that's getting in and getting out, and then buy and sell at the same time and say, oh, which one hit? Oh, I'm raw. And in reality, it's like, that's gambling. You're gambling with the sense of buying real estate, selling it, buying and selling it, buying and selling it. You're not playing the right game. You got to play in the game where you don't have to buy and sell. And if you're going to buy and sell, go trade. Simple. But when it comes to real estate, bro, you get into real estate to pass it down and leverage it. Tax advantages. 1031 exchanges, being able to keep buying and flipping and putting money into something that is a living asset. You got houses now that have house rights. You got robots that have human rights. It's like when you think about a black person. You have black people in America that have white rights, but they don't use it. Boss Moves. This is one of my favorite books, too. It's one of the most entertaining books by Myron Golden. This book taught me how to sell. And it changed my whole perspective on selling because selling felt like convincing. And see, you only feel bad about selling something when it's bullshit. But people say, don't do business to a family. But it's like, the thing that I do, trading, teaching people, trading, offering this opportunity, damn or gift, it's not business to me because it's like, by the time that it took me to text you, I could have made what most people make in a month. Real shit. So it's like, This book is where I got the whole idea. I'd rather have a slice of a watermelon than a whole grape. Why? Because it's fun when you share. What's the point of having everything but you don't have nobody to share it with? You feel me? So Boss Moves, it changed my perspective of understanding the difference of somebody that's convincing and they selling things for the money and people that's getting opportunities because they're solving problems that they see deeply in themselves. Trading in the Zone. This right here is the only trading book that I ever bought, only trading book that I'll probably ever read. I read it maybe 2 times. When I think about it, I think I read 20 books last year. 15 different books, but I read. And it's just simple, man. When it comes to this book, Trading in the Zone, how do I describe it? It teaches the idea of the person that's sharp and smart and they are experts, veterans, people that's been trading for 10 years, doing the skill for 10 years. This is what I would say. The person that wins in these equations is not the person that has the most time in something. The person that wins in the equation is the person that's more focused on really pushing the camel through the needle. Focus does not come with balance. So when you're focused, you focus on one thing until it's done. When you're balanced, you're focused on multiple things, trying to multitask, and eventually it all falls apart. So this book right here, it teaches when you're actually exponentially growing, 10x in a day, the same exact thing. That person, me, has been trading for 2 years and doing the same strategy, the same shit. Learning the same shit 5 to 10 years, 5 to 10 hours a day is going to always pass the person that's been doing something for 10 years. Because that person that's been doing something for 10 years has came across 10 different opportunities and they lack discernment. Because they're focused on winning and they're not focused on the feedback. When you're focused on the feedback, it teaches you, let me tweak this a little bit, let me tweak this a little bit, let me tweak this a little bit. So it's all about the dial. The dial is, what can you risk and what do you want? Risk has nothing to do with how much you're willing to lose. Risk has everything to do with everything that could possibly go wrong. You ready to lock in? You want to be a part of these 100 traders, bro? It's funded 500K minimum? Drop a well. Shmoon.